Defensively, there's nothing you can do to stop this team. There is absolutely nothing. I've tried to make videos and dissect on how to slow down the Warriors. I can't think of it. What's going on, guys? It's Steve. So the Warriors made a statement last night against the Houston Rockets by absolutely, positively defeating them. Usually you guys say I over-exaggerate, so I'm not going to use destroyed or whatever, but, this is just another example on why the Golden State Warriors are too good for everyone except for one team, and that team is the Cleveland Cavaliers. There's no other team in the NBA that can compete with the Golden State Warriors. Now, it's not even like the Houston Rockets played bad, because they scored over 100 points. They played solid defense, so it's not even that they were playing bad. But the thing is just the Golden State Warriors, and Max Kellerman really said this greatly in the beginning of the season. Everyone is going to be playing catch up with the Golden State Warriors. So in order for a team like Houston, and that was what Max Kellerman said, so now this is what I'm saying. In order for a team like Houston, where you have one superstar and just a bunch of role players on that team, in order for a team like that to succeed against a team like the Golden State Warriors, what you're going to need to see is James Harden having an epic first quarter to bring the Rockets up at least by 10 in the first quarter. Because if the Rockets are within single digits, if they're winning by single digits at the end of the first quarter, I don't think they can hold it off. They can't pull it off unless he has an epic fourth quarter. But in order to beat this team, your team has to have an epic start to the game and just immediately go on a run and go up like 14-0. Sometimes how we see those teams go on runs like that. We need to see those teams like this go on like a 14-0 run in the beginning of the first quarter to go up by double digits and then try to hold that lead, try to get to 20, because eventually the Warriors, they're going to start pinning it down. And I'm telling you, it just takes one shot by anyone, whether it's Draymond Green, Zaza, Andre Iggy, whoever the hell it is, KD, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, who's that dude that comes off the bench for Curry? I don't remember his name. Not Livingston too, but no matter who it is, anyone, if anyone makes a shot on the Golden State Warriors, the entire team is on the verge of an eruption. And you better hope that it's anyone except Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, or Kevin Durant. Because if either one of those three erupt, the game is over. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just game's over, because Kevin Durant, if he erupts, that's it. You can't stop him. Stephen Curry, you can't stop him. Klay Thompson, you can't stop him. So there's nothing anyone can do about it. The only way to beat the Golden State Warriors with a team like the Houston Rockets is to come out and have a great start to the game. But on top of that, it's not just having a great start offensively. You have to force the Warriors to miss shots, which also comes down to luck. You have to get lucky and hope that they start off struggling and you can, start off the game making a whole bunch of shots and just go on a huge run in the first quarter. Because if you don't, you're going to be playing catch-up the entire game, and there's no team that can compete with the Warriors on the offensive end. Because Houston, they didn't even play bad. They scored over 100 points. Come on. No matter what, there's no keeping up with this Golden State team on offense. So there's really nothing you can do unless you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, where you can actually keep up, because like the Warriors have their big three that all score over 20, so do the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Draymond Green scores around 14, 15, J.R. Smith, Kyle Korver, that's what those players are there for, so it's going to be epic to see them again. And this James Harden team really reminds me of what I grew up on, because to be honest, I grew up on LeBron by himself on a team with just some solid role players. People always bring up, oh, well, Mo Williams was an all-star. Yeah, Mo Williams was a pretty decent point guard back in the day, but he's nothing compared to like a Stephen Curry or like a Kyrie, or he's just Isaiah Thomas or anyone like that. Even Darren Williams at that time was popping, and Mo Williams was an all-star because Chris Bosh got injured that year. That was 2008, 2009, by the way, when LeBron went 66 and 16. However, when he faced the Orlando Magic, who had Hedo Turkoglu, Dwight Howard, Jameer Nelson, I almost said Rasheed Wallace, Rashard Lewis, they didn't get exposed, but they got, like a wake up call. And then the following year, the same thing happened. LeBron against the Celtics. There's nothing they can do about it because the Celtics were great defensively, really great defensively, but offensively too, because LeBron had to go up against Paul Pierce, a guy that was putting 40 on LeBron every single night. He also had Ray Allen dropping 20 and Kevin Garnett dropping 18. So this is what it reminds me of. So I still think we might see Houston versus Golden State in the Western Conference Finals. It depends. It all depends on matchups and seedings because let's say, for example, it's San Antonio versus Houston in the second round. I'm not too sure who's going to win. Because that's a tough team to beat. Both teams are tough to beat because Houston, they're a really good three-point shooting team. They're a really good offensive team. And I mean, they have one of the best scorers in the NBA. They have some really good shooters around them, but the Spurs, they're pretty decent on offense as well. They have Kawhi averaging 23, 24. They have LaMarcus Aldridge averaging 19, 20. And then Pau Gasol's there and Tony Parker's there. You got the veteran experience with Manu, and you got a whole bunch of role players on that team with the greatest coach ever. There's a whole bunch of things that come into play, and then you got defense on top of that with Kawhi and Pau and LaMarcus. That's a tough team to beat. Same with Houston. They're both tough teams to beat. So I'm not sure who would take the cake between those two teams, but it all depends on matchups. But either way, I still think it's going to be Cleveland versus the Golden State Warriors in the 2017 NBA Finals because no teams in either conference can compete with, the Golden State Warriors or the Cavaliers. And the two teams that actually can, they're either injury prone or they're just a disaster. For example, the New York Knicks. If they were all clicking on all cylinders, they would be able to compete with Cleveland. Not in terms of, they're going to definitely beat them, but, it'd been like, okay, wait a minute. We got to go extra hard against them. The same with the Clippers. I'm not saying the Clippers are championship contenders. I'm not saying the Knicks are championship contenders, but I'm just saying they would have shown the best effort against them if it weren't for the disasters going on right now, which is pretty sad. So anyway, James Harden, he had a decent game, It's whatever, man. I feel bad for these type of players because he doesn't really have any stars around him, and now that Dwight is gone, he has even less help, even though he has slightly more with Eric Gordon and some shooters around him and defenders. The team is built really good around James Harden. The only thing is that this team is not going to be able to beat Golden State in a best of 7 just simply because it's not even because of defense or the Rockets' offense is bad. It has nothing to do with the Rockets. It has everything to do with the Golden State Warriors having Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green all on the same team. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. Just a simple fact of having Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry on the same team would be ridiculous. Just the fact that they have Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson on the same team is ridiculous because you can't do anything. Defensively, there's nothing you can do to stop this team. There is absolutely nothing. I've tried to make videos and dissect on how to slow down the Warriors. I can't think of it. I cannot think of how to stop the Golden State Warriors. There's nothing I can think of. I'm still trying to dissect it, and it's been like 4 or 5 months now, and I still can't dissect how to slow down the Warriors. I'm going to try and make a video sometime this week about it, but it's extremely hard because at the end of the day, there's really not much you can do. If you double Curry, Klay is there. If you double KD, Curry's there. If you double Draymond, it's Kevin Durant. If you double Draymond, it's Stephen Curry. There's nothing any team can do to stop this Golden State Warrior team. And the only team, again, it's Kyrie, LeBron, and Kevin Love. And even then, LeBron's going to have to put up extreme numbers. He can't put up anything in the 20s. We're talking in the 30s in terms of points per game in the finals in order to beat this team. Because if he puts up, let's say, 25 points per game, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, I don't think that's going to be good enough to defeat the Golden State Warriors. He needs to put up at least 30, 35 points per game like he did in 2015, in order to defeat this team because offensively, man, you're going to be playing catch up. And the same thing with the Cavaliers. When they meet with the Golden State Warriors in the finals, they have to, go on a run. They have to have a dominant first quarter. They have to get that lead in the first quarter because if they get the lead, if the Golden State Warriors have the lead by the end of the first quarter, you might as well just throw in the towel, because there's nothing you can do to catch up, because you're gonna be playing catch up all night. And if one person makes 1 3, then the next person's gonna make one, and it's gonna be a placebo effect, and it's a snowball effect, and then you're out of the picture. You're down by 30 now. That's how deadly this team is. So you have to really be careful. And the crazy thing is that Curry, Clay, Dre, and KD aren't even playing full minutes compared to what some of these other star players are playing. And that's scary, dude. Man, this team is ridiculous. Anyway, guys, it's been Steve. I'm out. Peace.